Most couples struggle with miscommunication at some level. Now, some couples do well, of course. Others have only surface level conversations. They no longer share dreams with one another. Their conversations revolve around the kids or the next task on a never ending list. Their friends don't know how unhappy they are. Still, there are others who are caught in an endless loop of frustration and hurt. If any of this sounds familiar, you're not alone. My private clients, all the men and women in my group coaching program, and those who are studying the core curriculum are facing similar challenges. So I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell them. Before you try to make sense of your mate, you need to take care of yourself first. And that's always where we begin. And this episode is no different. To get the most out of what I'm about to share, you'll need to be self aware. That is, able to recognize your own thoughts and feelings, many of which are based in misconceptions about who you are. Successful marriages, the ones where the man and the woman are living in harmony, not unison, are the product of two people who are bringing the best of who they are to their relationship. That said, if what I share here increases your frustration instead of instilling hope, it's probably a sign of how miserable you're feeling right now. Now, that's not a judgment, just a recognition that you need to have someone who's on your side, who can understand your vulnerabilities and help you become a stronger you. A quick way to tell where you are in the process? As you listen, are you saying, yeah, but I hear that a lot. And it's a very strong indicator that you're in self preservation mode. So you and I both need to honor that. With that, I want to introduce you to the first of 6 episodes unpacking one of the most misunderstood realities in marriage. Men and women communicate differently, not because one is wrong, but because they were shaped differently. And that difference is not a flaw. A man and a woman are designed differently for synergy, not sameness. And that's very good news. You're designed to work together, bringing your relative strengths for one another's benefit. This is not about enmeshment. It's not about blending into one indistinguishable being. It's about synergy. Think about your hands. You can do quite a bit with one hand, but try tying your shoes, opening a jar, or carrying something heavy with only one hand. Man and woman are like a right hand and a left hand, distinct, coordinated, moving in rhythm. When they understand one another, they're extraordinarily effective. But when they misunderstand one another, everything slows down and frustration builds. So, why does communication break down? Let me give you a few common scenarios. A wife says, "We need to talk." Her husband's body tightens. He hears her unhappiness, perhaps anger, and thinks, "Here we go again." She may have meant something completely different. Maybe she just wants to connect with him, for them to be emotionally present with one another. When he doesn't understand how she uses language, he misinterprets her behavior. And if he's unsure of himself to begin with, he feels even more miserable. Or this one. A husband comes home quiet after work. His wife begins asking questions. "What's wrong? Did something happen? Are you upset with me?" He feels pressured. She feels shut out. When she doesn't understand how he uses language, she misinterprets his behavior. And if she's unsure of herself to begin with, she feels even more miserable. They're speaking the same language, but using it so differently that misinterpretation is the norm for them. Words get lost in translation from male to female. And to understand why, you'll need to go deeper than what you're seeing. You need to know how the process of becoming a man works and how the process of becoming a woman works. For our purposes here, we'll start with what he's learned about language. Across cultures and centuries, fathers and older men understood something instinctively. Raw male strength, both physical and emotional, must be controlled and directed. Without discipline, strength becomes aggression. Sensitivity becomes volatility. So as a boy, he was taught self-control. He learned that gentleness is controlled strength, not weakness. He learned to focus on one thing at a time, to take action quickly, to solve problems, to produce results. He wasn't encouraged to process emotions out loud. Instead, when formulating a solution, or when what he's doing isn't working, he often falls silent. That applies to everything in life, not just his marriage. He retreats not because he doesn't care, but because internally he's recalibrating. He has fully developed a male perspective on what it means to be a healthy human being. A woman, on the other hand, is shaped differently. Across cultures and history, women have learned to survive and thrive through connection. Where he was trained for strength and action, she learned relational awareness. She learned to notice details, to read emotional cues, to maintain harmony, to build bonds. Connection is not optional for her. It is central to her existence. She has fully developed a female perspective on what it means to be a healthy human being. And here's where it gets interesting. When these two very differently shaped humans marry one another, they bring those deeply formed communication instincts with them. For example, he uses language to relay information. She uses language to build emotional connection. Neither is wrong, just very, very different. Unless they are fully, consciously aware of this simple fact, they will misinterpret one another constantly. Over the next 5 episodes, we're going to unpack gender differences in the purpose of language, word quantity and quality, word choices and their meanings, and communication styles. This podcast series will provide you with everything you need to know about communicating with the opposite sex, especially in an intimate relationship where the stakes are high. I expand on this understanding in Man, Woman, and the Psychology of Marriage, the 6-week core curriculum designed to help you thrive in your relationship. Because when you understand what is actually happening beneath your communication pattern, something remarkable begins to happen. Blame decreases. Fascination and curiosity increase. Love and respect grow. In that environment, synergy is inevitable. Next week, we'll begin with the first major distinction, the purpose of language. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Until then, keep learning, keep loving, and remember, your gender differences are not a sign of your mate's dysfunction. They're a sign of all that's possible for you together. Take care, and I'll see you again real soon.